After the breakup, I went back to the house I shared with my ex-boyfriend to pack my things, only to find someone in his basement who looked almost identical to me, her mouth taped shut and chained to a chair. My best friend, Stella, sent me a candid photo of me and Harry shopping intimately while I was at home watching a horror movie. I'm so over you too. I rarely get to go out shopping at night, and you still manage to shove your PDA in my face. But looking at Stella's message, I stared wide-eyed. Stella, did you just take this picture? You just saw me and Harry at the mall? Huh? Stop pretending, okay? I'm right here at the Sky Store entrance. Just turn your head, and you'll see me. Stella, I'm watching a horror movie right now, don't scare me. As soon as I sent the message, Stella sent another photo. You're the one scaring me. Isn't this you too? I opened the photo and broke out in a cold sweat. The man in the photo was indeed Harry, and the woman beside him did look a lot like me, but it wasn't me. What on earth was going on? Who was that woman? Why did she look just like me? A barrage of questions flooded my mind. Stella probably sensed something was wrong and called me. I answered the phone. Hello. Oh my God, the woman inside doesn't have her phone. That really isn't you. Heavens, how can there be someone who looks so alike? Am I seeing a ghost? On the phone, Stella's voice trembled. So what should I do next? Should I go up and ask him directly? I tried to calm myself down while also reassuring Stella. Quietly observe if they do anything out of line. Don't let Harry see you. Call me immediately if anything happens. After hanging up with Stella, I curled up on the sofa, recalling many things that had happened since Harry and I got together. Harry and I met at the theater. My best friend Stella and I are dancers in a dance troupe, the unknown kind, occasionally performing as backup dancers for celebrities. One day 2 years ago, after we finished a performance, a male audience member went backstage to find me. He was Harry. His opening line was very cliché, "You look a lot like a friend of mine." At that time, I thought it was his way of hitting on me and didn't pay much attention, because I could see the interest in his eyes. Harry looked refined and well-dressed, clean and comfortable, which was my type. So after chatting for a while, I gave him my contact information. From then on, Harry started pursuing me. Our dance performances often took us to different cities back to back, but Harry, whenever he had time, would follow us to different cities to watch me perform. Few men pursued someone to this extent. At that time, the girls in the troupe envied me, and I also enjoyed the feeling of being pursued. Not long after, I couldn't resist Harry's pursuit and got together with him. Half a year after we got together, I moved into Harry's place, which is the current house, a 4-story terraced villa. Overall, Harry was definitely a qualified boyfriend. He remembered every one of our anniversaries and would romantically prepare surprises for me. When I was on my period at night, he would stay by my side, bringing me tea and water, and rubbing my stomach. He rarely let me do housework, saying that dancing was hard work and I should protect my knees when I got home, avoiding movement as much as possible, leaving the rough work to him. He even cleared out a room and converted it into a dance studio for me. Such a gentle, wealthy, and accommodating man, sometimes I even wondered, how did he end up falling for me? Curled up on the sofa, my thoughts drifted further and further. 2 years, I thought I knew him well, but at this moment, Harry suddenly felt a bit strange. I don't know how long it took, but the door sounded. Harry was back, and my thoughts were pulled back as well. "Anna, I'm back. I'm going to take a shower first." Harry didn't wait for me to speak and went into the bathroom. I knew Harry had a thing for cleanliness, but he seemed to love showering a bit too much. I scrolled through the chat history Stella sent me later. Stella said Harry knew that person wasn't me, and the two seemed very familiar, but she couldn't tell their exact relationship. Half an hour later, Harry came out of the bathroom and, as usual, hugged me from behind, his lips close to my ear, deliberately teasing, "Baby, why don't you go take a shower too? I'll wait for you in bed. This trick of his used to work wonders on me. The warmth of his breath would send tingles down my ear and through my whole body. But today, all I felt was hypocrisy and disgust. Harry, is there nothing you want to tell me? Say what? His acting is really good. You said you were working overtime today, but you went out to dinner with a woman. Aren't you going to explain that to me? I pulled out my phone and showed him the photo. You're following me? Harry's face changed instantly. I don't have the energy to follow you. A friend sent me the photo. Harry, I want to hear the truth from you. Harry's face seemed to show some struggle. He frowned and remained silent for a long time before coming around to sit next to me on the sofa. Anna, listen to me. The woman in the photo is my ex-girlfriend, but I didn't betray you. She contacted me recently, wanting to get back together, and has been pestering me. But I have you, how could I possibly get back together with her? I was afraid you'd misunderstand, so I didn't tell you. I only went to see her today to completely reject her and tell her it's impossible between us. I didn't expect him to admit it so quickly. Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably. Is this how you affectionately reject someone? So, what you said when you first met me was true. It turns out I look like your ex-girlfriend. I'm just a substitute, right? Anna, what are you thinking? I said that back then just to strike up a conversation with you. How can there be so many people who look alike in the world? Besides, I touched her face out of professional habit. Because she had plastic surgery. Plastic surgery? I stared wide-eyed. This answer was completely unexpected. Because Harry was indeed a plastic surgeon. I knew this from when I first met him 2 years ago. Well, otherwise, how do you think she could look exactly like you? Harry paused for a moment and continued, she said she secretly followed you before because I told her I liked you and rejected her. Then she went and got plastic surgery to look like you. She thought I liked your face. This woman is really crazy. At this point, Harry got a little agitated and simultaneously punched the sofa. But then he changed his tone. But Anna, to be honest, for a woman to do so much for me, it's a lie to say I'm not moved. Besides, we had a relationship before. I know she might continue to pester me. Can you give me some time? I'll definitely be able to handle it. When Harry said this, he looked heartbroken and sincere, his eyes a little red. It was the first time I had ever seen Harry so moved. The whole thing sounded incredible, yet it seemed to make sense. I just didn't expect there to be such a crazy woman in the world. I wiped my tears and decided to trust Harry this once. Harry, I'll give you time, but I hope you don't lie to me. Anna, thank you. Harry came over and hugged me. This time I pinched his waist a few times hard, but didn't push him away. Just like that, we sort of resolved our conflict. To show his remorse, Harry went out of his way to compensate me and even suggested we go on a trip together after he sorted things out with his ex-girlfriend. But after this incident, I could no longer treat Harry the same way as before. Women are sensitive creatures. Once trust in a relationship is broken, it's hard to repair. So I couldn't help but try to find clues in his actions. For example, he never let me touch his phone before, and I never did. But now I was always trying to find ways to peek at his phone password. I was very curious about what was in it. For example, Harry didn't like me disturbing his work before, so I had never even been to his workplace. But now I really wanted to know what he was like when he worked, or who his colleagues were. Even when I was doing his laundry, I would secretly go through his clothes several times, trying to find something. Until I actually found a strand of hair on Harry's clothes. I'm sure it's not mine. The color and length are different. I immediately sent it to Stella again. But one strand of hair doesn't really prove anything. His job naturally involves a lot of contact with women. That's true. Stella, I want to go see his workplace. Can you come with me? Forget it. You know I'm scared of your man. If he stares at me, I'm afraid I'll sell you out. Stella's words made me laugh. Ever since Stella met Harry, she's been intimidated by him. I knew this because Harry, apart from me, was very cold to other girls, which was why I had always been very reassured about Harry. Stella wouldn't accompany me, so I had to go to Harry's plastic surgery clinic alone. Harry had told me the name of his clinic a long time ago, and I always remembered it. The clinic didn't look too big or too small, about the size of a community health center. We pushed open the door, and a beautiful woman in a pink nurse's uniform greeted me warmly. "Hello, what procedure are you interested in consulting about?" "Excuse me, is there a Dr. Harry here?" "Harry? He's our chief physician here, our hospital's top doctor. You must have been referred by a friend. Harry has a very good reputation." "Chief?" My heart skipped a beat. Harry told me he was just a junior doctor. When did he become chief? But I wasn't sure if the hospital was just trying to upsell by making Harry sound high-end, so I didn't press the receptionist further and just said, "A friend referred me. I'd like to make an appointment with Harry." The receptionist went inside, and after a short while, she came out again, with another woman in a blue nurse's uniform standing beside her. The receptionist introduced her to me. "Harry should be busy right now. This is Harry's assistant. You can discuss the procedure you're interested in with her first." "Okay. Hello, Harry is busy. What would you like to consult about?" The girl greeted me with a smile in her eyes. Although she was wearing a mask, I could tell she was a beautiful girl. My eyes subconsciously scanned the hair showing from under her nurse's cap. It wasn't the same as the one on Harry's clothes. The girl's hair was black. And Harry is so busy at work, seeing so many people every day. Maybe that strand of hair belonged to a plastic surgery patient? I chatted with Harry's assistant for a while, planning to just get a quick hydration injection to end the conversation, but Harry's assistant told us, "Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Anna, Harry is currently in a minor surgery. It will be at least 6:30 p.m. before he's done, but we close at 6 p.m. We're not open in the evening, so you probably won't be able to have it done today." After hearing this, I subconsciously checked the time, 5:40 p.m. I was about to say let's reschedule, but before the words came out, something suddenly occurred to me, and I froze. Harry doesn't work overtime? Yes, that's right. It's his habit. How about we schedule you for 10 a.m. tomorrow? I don't have time tomorrow. How about another day? Do you arrange all of Harry's appointments? Yes, I arrange all of Harry's appointments. How about we add each other? You can contact me whenever you have time. Okay. That was exactly my intention. After adding the girl and leaving the plastic surgery clinic, I had only one thought in my mind. Harry definitely has a problem. Harry's assistant was named Mia and had been with Harry for about a year. After coming out, I started scrolling through Mia's social media feed. Besides some cosmetic surgery cases, there was also Harry's clinic schedule. I felt like I had struck gold, reading and recalling each post one by one. Finally, among the numerous posts, I found one. That day, Mia posted that Harry had a day off. I clearly remembered that I was out of town for a performance that day, and Harry told me he was still working. This was already 6 months ago. This meant Harry had been lying to me since then. Had he been entangled with his ex-girlfriend for a long time? Thinking of this, my heart sank again. However, neither the hair nor the clinic schedule could prove that Harry was cheating. And this time, I didn't plan to ask Harry directly. I seemed to no longer trust him. So in the following days, I continued to be the obedient girlfriend, but at the same time, I paid extra attention to his every move. One day, after shopping with Stella, I happened to see a woman posting small advertisements on the notice board as I entered the neighborhood. I despise people who randomly post small ads, and she was even posting them in the official notice area. I couldn't help but go over and say something. Hello, the notice board is for property management announcements, you can't just post ads here. I'm not posting an ad, it's a surveillance screenshot exposing a cat abuser. And I'm not using paste, it's removable adhesive. I won't damage the community environment. The woman's words stunned me. Only then did I look at the paper she had just posted. The black and white surveillance screenshot showed a person wearing a hat feeding a cat, another screenshot of them holding the cat, and a color, pixelated photo of cat remains discarded in a trash can. Although that photo of the remains was pixelated, the sense of gore still assaulted the senses, making one's hair stand on end. What made my hair stand on end even more was that in the blurry surveillance screenshot of the cat abuser, the person's build was very similar to Harry's. Looking at the solemn expression on the woman next to me, I guiltily hurried away. But on the way back, I thought it was impossible. Harry wasn't short of money, and he was popular with women. Why would he catch stray cats? It didn't make sense. Lost in thought, I returned to the home I shared with Harry. Opening the door, I saw Harry's shoes by the entrance. Harry had told me they were having a work dinner today. I had also seen photos of the dinner on Mia's social media feed. I didn't expect him to be back so early. Walking further in, I saw Harry's phone was actually on the entryway cabinet by the door, while the sound of running water came from the bathroom. My heart couldn't help but tense up. Wasn't this a God-given opportunity? I tiptoed over, picked up the phone, and unlocked it using the password I had previously peeked at when Harry unlocked it. Then, holding my breath, I rummaged through his phone. But unexpectedly, Harry's phone interface was very clean, with only a few commonly used apps. His social media feed, apart from chats with me and his assistant doctor, had no one else. His social media feed also had no posts hidden from me. But I didn't feel the reassurance that Harry was innocent. Instead, I felt even more uneasy. How could a person's phone be so clean? I quietly put the phone back in its original place. By the time Harry came out of the bathroom, I was already curled up on the sofa watching a movie. Harry, as usual, hugged me from behind the sofa. Did you have fun shopping with your bestie today? It was okay. Actually, I prefer shopping and eating with you, I coquettishly said to him as before. Anna, I've been too busy lately. I'll definitely make time to spend with you after a while. Harry was as gentle and considerate as ever, which only made me more suspicious. Busy, what exactly was he busy with? The work schedule Mia posted showed he averaged 3 days off a week, it was just that his days off didn't coincide with my weekends. How was he busy? And what exactly was he doing on those days he worked overtime? Harry was becoming more and more incomprehensible to me, but what I never expected was that while my relationship with Harry was having problems, fate played a huge joke on me. During our company's annual physical exam, I found out I was pregnant. The news of the pregnancy left me at a loss. This child came at such an inopportune time. I knew very well I wasn't the type to forgive a boyfriend's betrayal for the sake of a child, nor was I the type to get married for a child. But if Harry really had issues, what about the baby? My mind was a mess. Right now, I definitely couldn't tell Harry about the baby. I needed to first find out what secrets Harry was hiding from me. In the evening, when Harry got home, he asked with concern how my physical exam results were. I casually replied that everything was fine. He didn't ask further and then went to take a shower. While I was tossing and turning in bed, a message from an unknown number came to my phone. I know Harry's secret. Go check the trunk of his car. Remember to delete this message. Seeing the message, I shot up and immediately replied to the sender. Who are you? But the other party didn't reply, and calling the number went straight to voicemail. That night, I was completely sleepless, eager to sneak down to the underground garage and open Harry's trunk, but Harry was a very light sleeper, and I didn't dare act rashly. So I racked my brains trying to figure out how to open Harry's trunk. For the next few days, I often couldn't sleep all night. Harry noticed my fatigue, and I excused it as stress from rehearsing a new dance. Harry, for some reason, said he would take a day off recently and take me out for a picnic to relax. Hearing this, an idea suddenly popped into my head, and I immediately said, "Aren't you off tomorrow? I don't want to go to work tomorrow either. How about we go out and have fun tomorrow?" Harry was stunned for a long time, then said okay with a strange expression. That whole night, I kept an eye on Harry's movements, not giving him a chance to go downstairs. Early the next morning, I deliberately packed a lot of things, food and supplies. Harry frowned when he saw how much I had packed. "Anna, we're just going out for a day, and they have tents and grills for rent there." "Oh, really? I didn't know. I was just thinking since you're finally taking a day off to spend with me, I should prepare more thoroughly." "Alright then, since you bought it, let's take it. It's my fault for not telling you clearly. Let me take a load down first." "No need, I'll go down with you. We can take it all in one trip." "Alright then." Harry and I carried large and small bags down to the underground garage. Harry opened the trunk and started organizing things. I stood behind him observing the trunk. It was empty and clean, seemingly with nothing in it. I couldn't help but wonder, was someone playing a trick on me? Just as Harry was about to close the trunk, I quickly said, "Oh, Harry, I remembered I didn't bring my water bottle. It's in our bedroom. Can you go up and get it for me?" I had deliberately left that water bottle in the bedroom beforehand. Little scatterbrain. Harry pinched my nose, then glanced at the trunk lid and walked over, intending to close it. I quickly stopped him. "There are so many things, they need to be organized. You go on up. You can organize things here." Harry looked at me for a long time again before nodding and leaving. As soon as he was out of my sight, I eagerly started searching the trunk. Time ticked by, but I found nothing. I was sweating profusely from anxiety. Just as I was about to give up, my hand felt a small bulge under the leather mat. I lifted the mat, and underneath it was a phone. The phone's lock screen was a picture of Harry and me hugging, but I had never taken such a picture with him, and I wouldn't smile like the person in the photo. It was Harry's ex-girlfriend. The phone didn't have a password. I opened the phone. The home screen only had one app. Opening it also only showed chats with her. I scrolled up through the chat history. The more I read, the colder my heart became. Finally, my legs gave out, and I squatted on the ground. "Hubby, love you, good night. Honey, love you, good night. Honey, Anna and I are going on an outing tomorrow, so don't text. Okay, I'll be good. Hubby, when are you going to tell her? Just wait a little longer. I've been with her for these 2 years. Even though I treated her as your substitute, I owe her. I'll explain it to her clearly after some time. Hubby, I'll wait for you. Hubby, am I prettier now or before? You were pretty before, and even prettier now. If I had listened to you earlier and gotten plastic surgery, would you not have left me? Honey, we still have a chance now." After seeing all this, I was completely broken. Harry not only hadn't rejected that woman, but they were even talking fervently, terms Harry and I had never used. "Anna, what are you doing?" Harry came down and stared blankly at me, and the phone in my hand. "Anna, let me explain." This man was disgusting. I pushed him away forcefully and became hysterical. I said, "As long as you don't lie to me, I can accept any outcome. But why did you do this? Why? Since you love her, why are you still involved with me? Harry, I hate you." After saying this, I got up and ran back upstairs, with Harry's helpless shouts behind me, "Anna." I returned to the bedroom and started frantically packing my clothes. When I saw the bed I shared with Harry, where we used to be so affectionate, I couldn't help but throw up, really throw up. It was only then that I realized I was pregnant. This was an even trickier situation. Thinking about my substitute status these past 2 years, and the baby I was already carrying, I couldn't control myself anymore and burst into loud sobs. While crying, I called Stella and asked her to pick me up. Hearing me cry so hard, Stella said without hesitation that she would drive over immediately. Outside, Harry was banging on the door, seemingly very anxious. I packed my luggage and went out. Harry immediately blocked my path. He seemed very heartbroken and reluctant as he explained to me, "Anna, it's not what you think. I rejected her before, and she threatened to kill herself. Do you know how crazy she is? A person who would even go as far as getting plastic surgery to look like someone else. I was really afraid she would actually commit suicide, so I just wanted to placate her first. I haven't had any physical contact with her, I haven't wronged you." Hearing these explanations, my heart suddenly turned cold. What did he take me and that ex-girlfriend for? Fools he could deceive. Unfortunately, I wasn't as foolish as that woman, and I couldn't accept a scumbag who called someone else hubby and wifey as my boyfriend. Soon, Stella arrived downstairs. I picked up my suitcase and got into the car without looking back. As the car started, I looked out the window and saw Harry standing on the second-floor balcony, watching me calmly. He seemed to have given up on trying to keep me and didn't chase after me. I told Stella everything that had happened recently, including the pregnancy. Only I knew about this, I hadn't told anyone. Stella was so shocked by what she heard that her jaw dropped. "So what are you going to do about the baby? Come with me to get an abortion." Counting the time, it had been less than 2 months. The risk of an abortion at this stage was minimal. After saying this, my heart felt like dead ashes. The thought of having to kill my own child made me close my eyes in pain. Stella hugged me, and I hid in her embrace and cried again. 2 days later, Stella accompanied me out of the hospital. When the sun hit me outside, I was still shivering uncontrollably. I don't think I'll ever forget that feeling in my life. I lay on the cold operating table, and the instruments that entered my body were also cold, just like my heart. After the surgery, the doctor told me to rest at home for a week and avoid strenuous activities. Stella also helped me ask for a long leave from the dance troupe. The troupe leader was somewhat critical after learning about my situation, but at that point, I really didn't have the energy to care about my work. Just like that, I stayed at Stella's place and started my recovery. During this time, Harry didn't contact me, and I had no expectations of him. But in the blink of an eye, it was almost time to go back to work. I wanted to settle things with Harry before then. I had left in a hurry before and didn't take many of my things. Also, I still had Harry's key and wanted to return it. So I told Stella I was going to Harry's place. Stella had a performance tonight and couldn't accompany me. She told me to be careful. It was a little after 3 in the afternoon when I left. Mia's work schedule for Harry showed that he was working today. I didn't want to see Harry again, so I chose today to go. I used the key to open the door. As soon as I entered, I smelled a familiar scent, not a fragrance, nor a foul odor, but a somewhat musty, old smell mixed with the scent of aromatherapy. When I first came to this house, Harry told me it was old. Although it had been renovated, some smells couldn't be removed, so he bought a lot of aromatherapy to cover them up. I had gotten used to this smell over the past 2 years. Now, after staying outside for a few days and smelling this familiar scent again, it actually felt a bit strange. Perhaps Harry was like this aromatherapy, familiar on the surface, but I had never truly understood him. I shook my head, went into the room, and efficiently packed my things. As I was packing, I heard a thumping sound. It seemed like something was hitting the pipes in the house, and the sound seemed to be coming from the basement. Harry's basement was filled with a lot of clutter and some of his mother's belongings. I had been there once, but whether it was because the basement was too dark or it was a psychological effect, I felt a bit uneasy about it, so I never went down there again. But no one ever lived there, so how could there be noises? I walked down the stairs. The further down I went, the stronger the musty smell and the scent of aromatherapy became, but the knocking sound disappeared. Finally, I reached the basement. I used my phone's flashlight to turn on the light, but the light bulb might have been old. Even with the light on, the basement was still pitch black. I continued walking inside. Because it was too dark, I tripped over something. I quickly turned on my phone's flashlight. When I saw what was in front of me, I was instantly scared out of my wits. What I tripped over wasn't an object, but a living person, the person who looked almost identical to me. But her mouth was taped shut, and she was chained to a chair. Perhaps because of the backlight, she didn't see me clearly. Her eyes were wide with terror, her mouth taped shut. She wanted to struggle but didn't dare to move. You. The scene before me made my hair stand on end. I had never seen anything like this. I calmed myself down for a long time before frantically tearing the tape off the woman's mouth first. Were you kidnapped? Who locked you in here? The woman's mouth might have been sealed for a long time. After a few seconds, she could finally make a sound. How do you look so much like me? Am I dead? I was also completely confused. Harry clearly said she got plastic surgery to be with him. In Harry's words, she was a crazy woman who had lost herself. Why didn't she know I existed? My name is Anna. I'm Harry's ex-girlfriend. I'm not your ghost. I explained to her. She still seemed puzzled and was about to speak when the sound of a door opening came from the stairs. The woman anxiously urged me, Harry's back. There's no time to save me. You have to go, or he'll kill us both. Go out and call the police for me. I've been kidnapped for 7 days. Harry kidnapped you? I was completely stunned. It's no use, you have to go now. The woman was very anxious. I looked at the woman who was almost identical to me. Though her eyes were filled with fear, they also held a kind look. I felt very uneasy. But I only hesitated for a second before making a decision. Her words were undoubtedly the only way to save both of us at the moment. So I gritted my teeth and stuck the torn tape back onto her mouth. Wait for me for half an hour. I'll call the police as soon as I get out. The police are very fast, they'll definitely be here to save you in half an hour. You just try to stall him and stay alive. The woman's mouth was sealed again with tape, so she couldn't answer me, only able to whimper and nod at me, her tear-filled eyes showing trust in me. It was hard to be looked at like that, especially by a face almost identical to mine. But I still hardened my heart and ran out of the room with the little rationality I had left. Fortunately, I had lived in this house for 2 years after all. I knew there was a sculpture outside the basement. In my haste, I hid behind the sculpture. I didn't dare to peek out. Holding my breath, I didn't dare to make a sound. I heard footsteps reach the basement door and go in. After the basement door was slammed shut. Only then did I dare to tiptoe out and lightly make my way out of the villa. As soon as I stepped out the main gate, I ran like crazy out of the neighborhood. When I saw the security guard at the neighborhood entrance, I finally felt a little at ease. With trembling hands, I dialed 911. Hello, I'm reporting a kidnapping. The location is Tianfu Courtyard, Building 14, Unit 2, basement. Please go save her quickly. I'm afraid the kidnapper will realize something and kill the hostage. Please save her quickly. The police, upon receiving the information, stated they would dispatch officers as soon as possible and asked if I could go to the scene to identify the situation. I said I didn't want to go. The police told me to keep my phone on, as they would contact me at any time. After hanging up, I sent a message to Stella. Stella said she would be there right away and told me to stay in a crowded place for the time being. About 20 minutes later, a police car and a SWAT vehicle drove into the neighborhood. I hid nearby and observed quietly. After about another half hour, Stella ran up to me, out of breath, and asked about the current situation. I told her the police had gone in. She told me to go back with her first, but I couldn't rest easy. I was afraid the girl who looked exactly like me was in danger. She had saved me in a way, and I didn't want anything to happen to her. After waiting a while longer, police officers in uniform and SWAT gear came out of the house. Harry was also taken into a police car by them, but the girl who looked exactly like me didn't come out. I didn't know what had happened. I wanted to rush over and see what was going on, but Stella stopped me. "Anna, you can't go out. If the kidnapping is real, he definitely won't let you go either. I can't let you put yourself in danger." "But Stella, that's a living person's life." Just as Stella and I were arguing, my phone rang. It was the police. "Is this a mess? Anna? We have recorded the information you reported. Our police have also searched the location you mentioned but did not find the victim. Is it convenient for you to come and give a statement in person now?" It's convenient. I'm here." "Was Harry just taken to the police station by you guys?" "Yes, don't worry, he won't know you reported him. If it's convenient for you, you can come to the scene in person. We still have personnel on site." Hearing the thorough arrangements over the phone, I felt relieved and told the person on the other end that I would go to the scene immediately. After the police car carrying Harry left the neighborhood, accompanied by Stella, I once again stood in front of the villa. 2 police officers stood before me, one holding a camera, the other looking at me sternly with a pen. "Anna, is that right? Did you know Harry before? Under what circumstances did you enter Harry's house?" The police officer's questions made me freeze, but I had no choice but to answer, "Yes, I'm Harry's ex-girlfriend. I came to the house this afternoon to pack my things." After answering the police officer's questions, I vaguely felt that the officer taking my statement was looking at me with suspicion. I swear, although Harry and I had a very unpleasant breakup, would never falsely accuse Harry of something as serious as kidnapping. And the person is right there in the basement. "Once you find her, everything will be clear," I explained, somewhat agitated. But the police officer taking my statement dealt me a heavy blow, but the key is, we didn't find the victim in the basement. "Impossible. She was clearly in there," I explained anxiously, not only because I was being suspected by the police, but also because I was worried that the girl had met with an accident. "I can go in and show you." The police officer taking the statement and the officer with the camera exchanged glances, then nodded at me and went to the basement with me. Unlike before when it was pitch black, this time there were police-issue floodlights, and the basement was much brighter. But when I walked to where the girl had been tied up, it had turned into a pile of dead cat corpses, some recently deceased, others already rotting. The metallic smell of iron mixed with a foul odor was almost suffocating. The scene before me assaulted my vision. I couldn't help but think of the woman who had posted the surveillance screenshots earlier. Harry really was abusing cats. No wonder the villa always had a strange smell. What about the woman who looked so much like me? I rushed in like a madwoman, frantically searching through a pile of miscellaneous shelves, shouting as I searched, "Hey, are you still alive? Answer me, I'm here to save you." Impossible, the person was clearly here just now, right here with this pile of cat corpses. She was tied with ropes, her hands and feet chained, and her mouth was even sealed with tape. She couldn't even call for help. How could she disappear in such a short time? This basement must have a secret room. She must have been hidden. "Ma'am, please calm down. Harry really did kidnap someone, and that person looks a lot like me. Officer, I can testify for Anna. Harry really does have someone around him who looks a lot like Anna." Stella also spoke up for me. "But our police work requires evidence." Listening to the other party's somewhat inflexible words, I thought for a long time and suddenly remembered the photo Stella had shown me before. So I quickly took out my phone to show the photo to the police, but when I took out my phone, I froze again. That time after I confronted Harry, Harry told me to delete the woman's photo, saying he didn't want her to become an obstacle in our relationship. I listened to him and even asked Stella to delete the photo. Seeing this, Stella also quickly tried to help me prove it, but words alone were not enough. Although the police recorded our statements, their attitude was ambiguous. In the end, the kidnapping case ended as a cat abuse case. But although animal abuse is cruel, there is no explicit law in the country making it a crime. Harry had no legal responsibility. Instead, the person who took my statement said they wouldn't charge me for filing a false report this time, and hoped I would be more careful in the future and not abuse police resources. I really wanted to argue with the police, but I also knew that without evidence, I couldn't do anything to Harry. Back at Stella's house, I sat on the sofa, looking dejected. Stella came over, worried, and said, "Anna, Harry's counter-surveillance and reaction abilities are too strong. I think he might have already guessed you were the one who called the police. Do you want to leave the city and hide for a while?" I weakly hugged Stella. "Stella, now when I close my eyes, all I see is that face that looks exactly like mine." I believed Harry's words before and thought she was bad, but she didn't even know I existed in the world. And today, she was the one who saved me, but I don't even know her name. "Stella, I feel really bad." "Anna, it's not your fault." Stella hugged me tightly, comforting me. The next day, I went to the police station again. I found the anonymous text message that was sent to me earlier. The woman who looked exactly like me was clearly not the person Harry described. If that was the case, then the chat records with her on Harry's other phone must have been fabricated. Although I couldn't figure out why, I felt that this number could definitely lead to something. I reported to the police again, and promised that I was willing to bear the consequences of filing a false report. Seeing my determination, the police took another record. They checked the phone card and only took it seriously when they found out it was an anonymous card. They checked the location again. When I saw the location, I was completely stunned. It was actually near the hospital where Harry worked. Who was using that card? Was it the woman who looked so much like me, or Harry? The phone was there, so was the woman who looked so much like me also moved there by Harry? I hoped the police would investigate there. The police promised they would investigate and told me to go home and wait for news. I was a little disappointed, but when I walked out of the police station, a female police officer named Fiona blocked my way, saying she believed what I said. She said, "No one would report falsely multiple times knowing the consequences. Although what you said is a bit fantastical, I believe you." After seeing her, she added me as a contact and told me to contact her immediately if I had any new clues. On the way back, I had the car detour to Harry's house and couldn't help but get out. In just half an hour, and I had been watching outside the whole time, he couldn't have moved the person out of the house. So the person must still be in the villa. But where exactly did Harry hide her? I stared intently at Harry's house, impulsively wanting to go in again and look. Just as I was hesitating, someone suddenly tapped me on the back. I turned around and, to my surprise, saw Harry. But before I could even show a scared expression, I realized something was wrong. I couldn't exert any strength in my hands and feet, and my brain felt waves of dizziness. "Help! Help me! Anna, Anna, what's wrong with you?" My cry for help was incredibly weak, completely drowned out by Harry's exclamation. The world in front of me gradually started to sway, but Harry's eyes looking at me were cold and mocking. In a daze, I only heard him casually chatting with the security guard at the neighborhood entrance. "Harry, what's wrong with your wife? Do you need me to call 911 for you?" "It's nothing, Anna just has low blood sugar. I'll take her back and let her eat something, and she'll be fine. Harry and your wife are so loving." I wanted to tell the security guard that I was being held hostage, but I couldn't make a sound. I was actually kidnapped by Harry in broad daylight. When I woke up, I saw a sight I never wanted to recall in my life. I saw Harry holding a dying puppy, a large part of its fur already removed. Other parts of the basement were also filled with various models of small animals, lifelike. My mouth was already taped shut, and my hands and feet were tied with ropes, unable to move. Harry saw me open my eyes, slowly walked over, pinched my chin, and showed a regretful expression. "Anna, I already let you go. Why did you have to come back and die?" I was terrified, wanting to scream and cry, but I couldn't make any sound at all, only able to let tears stream down my face. And it was only then that I realized Harry's ex-girlfriend was in another corner opposite me, her hands and feet also tied, her mouth taped shut, but her eyes were already lifeless. It seemed she was already dead. Harry's eyes were bloodshot and fierce, a completely different person from the one I knew before. "There's a surveillance camera in the bronze statue by the basement entrance. I saw you go into the basement," he continued. I shook my head desperately, but could only make this sound. "Since you're back, why don't you become a wax figure with me? First, step 1, remove all the hair." As Harry spoke, he plucked the puppy in his hands. I don't know what tool he used, it seemed to be some kind of glue-like substance. He applied it to the puppy, then instantly tore it off. The puppy whimpered a few times in pain, and its body became completely smooth. Step 2, secure it. Then, Harry used a special instrument full of nails to secure the puppy. Step 3, spray wax. After speaking, Harry turned on a high-temperature wax spraying device, instantly covering the puppy's entire body with steaming hot wax. A small dog wax figure was completed. At this moment, my hair stood on end. Because there were several other animal models in the basement, and one headless wax figure. If the wax figures were made the way Harry just did, what was inside those wax figures? "Look, isn't it beautiful?" Harry looked at the small dog wax figure before him as if admiring a work of art, occasionally making sounds of admiration. But I was already scared out of my wits, with no strength left to even cry out. After praising his work, Harry walked over to the headless wax figure and said gently, "My skills are very good now, aren't they? Don't worry, I will definitely make you very beautiful, Mom." "Mom?" Harry's sudden address stunned me. He clearly said his mother had been dead for many years. However, I've experimented with cats and dogs so many times, but I haven't experimented with a human yet. But don't worry, now I have 2 materials. If one fails, I still have a second chance. As Harry spoke, he walked over to his ex-girlfriend and started applying the material he had experimented with on the dog to her body. First step, remove all the hair. Luckily, humans have less hair than animals, so it's easier to handle. Harry was now a complete monster with bloodshot eyes. He muttered to himself as he applied that glue-like substance to the woman. I watched as streaks of blood seeped from the skin on the woman's arm. Terrified, I wanted to scream, but could only make whimpering sounds. Step 2, secure her. Harry ignored me and found another large nail instrument to secure the woman's arm. Step 3, spray wax. I didn't dare to watch the subsequent operations. I closed my eyes tightly and cried out with all my remaining strength. But just as I was about to go crazy from fear, the sound of an electric saw cutting something reached my ears, and a cold, viscous liquid splashed onto my face. When all the surrounding sounds disappeared, Harry laughed with satisfaction. "My mother has finally returned. Open your eyes and look at my mother." I didn't dare to open my eyes, but Harry forcibly pried them open, forcing me to look. A panicked glance, a scene I dared not dwell on. The previously headless wax figure now had a head that looked very much like mine. I was completely terrified. Harry, however, smirked sinisterly and tore the tape off my mouth. "No! Don't kill me. Harry, I beg you, I'll never call the police again, I won't tell anyone, please." I was already incoherent, only knowing to beg for mercy. But Harry, whether he heard me or not, his hand, sticky with something unknown, caressed my face intermittently. Anna, actually, I never betrayed you. All those actions you discovered that made you think I betrayed you were illusions I created. I have my mother, and I have you. Living like this for the rest of my life, I'm already very satisfied. I never really thought about hurting you, not even until the very last moment. I even let you go. But why did you have to come back? Why did you have to go into the basement? I held my breath, listening to this man, his hands stained with blood, speaking such sentimental words. My body trembled like a sieve, but my mind was racing. I didn't want to die. In my desperation, an idea struck me. Harry. Give me one more chance. I'm pregnant with your child. I have your child in my belly. Even if you don't let me go, you can't kill your own child. What? Harry was clearly shocked by my words. He abruptly stopped his actions, looking at me in disbelief, then burst into laughter. I almost fell for your trick. I'm not lying to you. Go open my bag, my physical exam report is in there. I cried and begged him to open my bag. Harry paused, but still went to get my bag. I had kept that medical report in this bag all along and never taken it out. Then he found the medical report, saw the words on it, and suddenly collapsed to the ground. Seeing Harry seem to regain a sliver of sanity, I didn't dare to breathe, afraid of agitating him again. Then I saw Harry stand up from the ground and begin to carefully place the ex-girlfriend's wax figure into a special device. Then he pushed open a wall and put the ex-girlfriend inside. Only then did I realize that his basement had a secret room. No wonder the police didn't find it at the time. After Harry dealt with his ex-girlfriend, he walked over to me. Anna, if you want to live, don't play any more tricks. Otherwise, even if it's a child, I won't spare it. Hearing this, I closed my eyes in pain. It seemed the child was just a delaying tactic. From today onwards, I will take good care of you, but you are not allowed to take a single step out of this basement. I will let the child be born safely. When the situation calms down, I will take you and leave this city. We and Mom will move to another city to live. Okay, that's fine, but what about my job? I have to go to work tomorrow, I questioned. I'll call them for you, but you can only use the phone under my supervision. Anna, don't try to outsmart me. I can fool the police once, I can fool them twice. No one can save you. Harry threatened me with a cold, sinister smile. I cringed and nodded, but my mind was already scheming a way to survive. Then I watched eagerly as Harry took out my phone. He came over again and unlocked the chains on me before suspiciously handing me the phone. Naturally, I didn't resist, nor did I call for help. Instead, I found Fiona and casually sent her a voice message. Fiona, something came up at home, so I can't come to the company next week. Can I take a week off? Fortunately, I hadn't saved Fiona's contact as officer, nor had I ever chatted with her. After sending the voice message, Harry looked at me suspiciously. Only taking a week off? How can a working person take 10 days or half a month off at once? I'll take a week off first, and if the problem isn't solved next week, I'll bring up resigning then. Doesn't that make sense? But why did you just add your supervisor? Our supervisor changed recently. Haven't I been running to the police station these past 2 days because of your business? I added her today because I was planning to ask her for leave anyway, since Stella and I are planning to move tomorrow. After Harry finished listening, he reached for my phone, scrolled through my chat history with Stella, and then looked through Fiona's social media feed. I watched beside him, my heart pounding, afraid that Fiona's social media feed would have any posts indicating her identity. But luckily, her feed was set to be visible for only 3 days, and she hadn't posted anything within those 3 days. After he finished looking, he turned off the phone. Seeing this, I quickly hugged him. Harry, I won't lie to you. I really want to live. And you were my first man, I gave you everything. I can't just forget you like that. Harry stood rigidly without hugging me back, seemingly still not believing my words. And just then, a message came to my phone. The name Fiona appeared on the screen. My heart leaped. I was betting on Fiona's alertness as a police officer, but I was also very afraid that she wouldn't react in time and would expose my trick. But luckily, her reply was, "Okay, let me know if you need anything." Only then did Harry take my phone away, chain me up again, and tape my mouth shut. That night, several police officers quietly rushed into the basement and rescued me. They also arrested Harry while he was sound asleep and found the woman who looked very much like me, and her head, sealed inside the wall. When I saw Stella at the police station, I hugged her and cried my eyes out. Later, I received psychological counseling at the hospital for a long time, but when the police took my statement, I still cried throughout the entire process. Harry's story is a bit long. It said that his father loved his mother very much, even to the point of obsession. His mother contracted a terminal illness when Harry was very young. His father wanted to be with his mother forever and didn't want her body to disappear, so he made her into a wax figure after she died. Perhaps due to his mother's early death and his father's almost pathological influence, Harry was very withdrawn since childhood. Soon after, his father also passed away, and Harry took over the preservation of his mother's wax figure. However, as time went by, and due to the limited technology his father had at the time, a wild cat accidentally got into the basement 6 months ago and damaged his mother's wax head. The body was in danger of decomposing, so Harry thought of replacing it with a head that looked like his mother's. Harry said he had once considered using my head, but I had a regular job, friends, and colleagues. Targeting me would be too risky. And just then, he encountered someone who came to him for plastic surgery and looked very much like his mother. She wasn't Harry's ex-girlfriend, she was just one of Harry's customers. Oh, right, her name was Mia. I finally knew her name. Because Mia wanted plastic surgery, and the people around her didn't approve, she cut off contact with her family and stayed alone at the plastic surgery hospital for 3 months. And it was during these 3 months that Harry gradually transformed Mia, who bore a slight resemblance to his mother, into his mother's likeness. After the plastic surgery, Mia became beautiful and was very grateful to Harry, completely unaware of Harry's ulterior motives. Harry took advantage of Mia's advances towards him, lured her into the basement, and secretly began his head-swapping plan. Meanwhile, Harry initiated a breakup with me, forcing me away from the scene. In Harry's confession, he said he actually had further plans. He originally planned that after swapping the head, he would use that phone to explain things to me clearly, framing Mia by saying that phone was planted by her, that he had nothing to do with Mia, and then reconcile with me. After all, the chat records on that phone were too fake. It was just that I accidentally stumbled into the basement, disrupting all his plans. Looking at Harry's meticulous and detailed plan, I only felt a chill run down my spine. Perhaps, as he had expected, if I hadn't accidentally stumbled into the basement that day, I might have really gotten back together with him later. But the thought of that possibility sent shivers down my spine. I should thank heavens, I should thank my lucky stars that I accidentally stumbled into the basement that day. Otherwise, I might have spent my whole life living with a demon. And this time, because of Mia, I didn't become his prey. But next time, without Mia, if his mother broke again, would his butcher's knife turn towards me? But the most pitiful one was the girl named Mia, the girl Harry transformed into my likeness, the girl who sacrificed herself for me. She never had any ill intentions, yet she encountered a pervert like Harry. The day before Harry's execution, I went to see him in prison. At this point, Harry was completely a walking corpse, but he still instinctively glanced at my still flat stomach, a hint of confusion on his face. I smiled coldly and handed him a piece of paper. It was the report from the abortion. After Harry finished reading it, he roared at me excitedly, "Anna, I loved you so much, I believed you, I let you go, why did you do this to me? A mother would never harm her own child. You don't deserve to be a mother." But I ignored him, just got up indifferently and left. Perhaps perversion can shape another pervert. I always felt that death was too easy for him. I wanted to see him suffer, to see him tormented in every possible way. For Mia, for me.